And welcome back here to Adobe Live on this fine Wednesday afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are joining us from. My name is Tim, and I'm joined once again by the one and only amazing Tony Danger Harmer.
Tony Danger Harmer, Tony Tangent Harmer. Hi, Tim.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm getting there. We're still full of the colds, but you know, hey ho. Been self-employed for years. Just get on with it.
Right. So this is part 3 of the Adobe Live Film Club here on Behance on Adobe Live. And as always, if you're watching this on YouTube, then that's fine, but you're missing out. So come on over to behance.net/Adobe Live and join us there in the chat. Say hi, let us know where you're watching from. And you can join them fine people such as, let me just open the chat. There we go.
Well,
Andreas and Angus and Annika, who's watching apparently at 5 p.m. There you go. And Doris and Garrett and Jane and Linda and Mike and Norsh and Oliver and Reva and Mike and Sandrine and Sean and Stuart and Tony. There we go. I haven't even said hi in the chat. Hang on, let me fix that. Yo.
Nice. Well done. Well played, sir. Very good. Very good.
So, what do we have in store today? What's the plan?
Right. Well, I guess we ought to have sort of a recap, really. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Because what we'll do is we'll just have a quick look at what we were aiming for. So we are retitling Adobe Live, okay, using the style of the FX series available on Netflix, Archer. I'm just going to scroll through that because we can't play it because I've got audio on, so we won't be doing any of that stuff. Okay, but this is the sort of thing we're doing, only without the inappropriateness. We're going more for the style. And over the last few days, we have drawn a bunch of different assets. So we've done some outlines for all of our hosts, okay, and other stuff here. So if I just highlight maybe a couple of these
on Adobe Live.
Previously on Adobe Live. So there we are. We made an outline for Mads, and we made another one. This is a latecomer out here. This one's for Rufus. Then we've got Emma. Then we've got Joe's upper arm. Me with the pirate hat. You with your hair flick.
What was the reference image for your image? Did it actually have a pirate hat on it, or did you draw that on?
No, I did have a pirate hat on. So it's me presenting at Max in 2018, which I presented dressed as a pirate.
That explains the mustache.
Yeah. No, 2017, thinking about it. 2017, because 2018, I was a mad professor in a laboratory.
With a
Dr. Grafenstein, who we all know, of course.
The massive eyebrows. That makes it really easy to track.
It's really easy to track.
Right.
Oh dear. We also played around in Animate. So we drew, I drew this walk cycle here. And just a spoiler thing, what I did as well on these, because I drew them, if I just take the effect off here, I drew them in different colors. Okay, because it made it easier for my brain to work out which leg I was working on at any given time. And then I used this brightness effect and dialed that down to negative 100% just to make sure it's absolutely black. Now, I have had a couple of small issues bringing that across into After Effects. Tiny things that I'll look into later on. I'm going to ask my good friend Joseph Lebrec why the issues were happening. They were small things, but I just wasn't prepared to accept them. So what I did was I actually exported this as a GIF. So that's one of the options you have here is export and export animated GIF. You can see export movie that exports in SWF. Lots of people go there expecting to export a video. Yeah, that's the actual next command down, export video / media. But you can be forgiven, I think, for going there and thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to export a movie, only to be disappointed. So I'd change that if it were me, but hey ho. So I did export animated GIF. Just here, this is just loading, just so you can see how that works. Let me just get the whole thing into this screen. So I targeted transparency. I took the number of colors down to 2, which gave me a color table just here of 2 things, black or not black. It was very, very simple to make that work. And given that I'd done that, what I thought I'd actually do was I did it also with the morph file that I had here. So this is the hour and minute hand. It's hard to tell the two apart unless I hide one or the other. So if I hide this one, you can see the other one there. And I put a little hole in that as a clue for me for where the turning center was, so that I could turn that nice and easily. And then I divided this up into scenes, and I separated the morph transition out into its own scene. And I made it work so it was appropriate for the timing. Again, I exported that as a GIF because it was lightweight, really easy to do, worked perfectly well for me. Okay, and then brought that into After Effects and started doing some stitching together. Now I've gone a little way in to the titles as they are at the moment, and you very kindly provided me with the audio file just now in the green room, which was super good. And I said, oh, can we just make this change? And you were very accommodating and allowed me.
Because that's what everyone likes.
You just went, yes, of course. Even you're just so nice. Even when I like message you and just say, hey, Tim, let's do this, insert name of random thing here. You go, okay, yes, that's very good. And then I...
Very good, Mr. Harmer. Thank you, Mr. Harmer.
It's just such, you're such a good guy with these things, honestly. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll just scrub through this. I'm just going to turn off the audio. Audio scrubbing shouldn't work here. Anyway, but the audio track is down at the bottom. This is the main composition that all of the titles are going to come from. Oh, and we did this background using the Nimbling 30 SSR plugin to create these isometric versions of the mnemonics. And then I used a plugin to make them look a bit more sketchy with these overdrawing lines and whatever. And I think that looks pretty good, actually. I'll show you the pattern in just a moment. So this is where we are at the moment. I've brought this in. I've created a composition or a series of compositions. If I go into clock complete just here, okay, this has the animations and there's some blur, just radial blur on the minute hand there.
Not even motion blur?
No, I used radial blur here because I was trying to match as much as possible. I think if I look at the original here, that looks to me more like radial blur. And so I changed it to, I used radial blur for it, not motion blur. Because I was trying to get as close to that as possible, which is one of the only places I've tried to be as close to it as possible. But anyway, I set this in to go round 12 whole times for each hour so that, believable motion and all of that. Then when it gets to the end of that point, the midday point, oh, and I use some easing as well so that you can see that the blur is fading out as it approaches the midday time. So it's stopping, becoming more solid. And also the hand slows down at that point. We'll have a look at that in a second. And then that switches over to the morph here, like so. And there we've got the pen tool. And then it just bounces back a little bit, sort of a drop away, and then away it goes to start the journey of the dot, which of course is the linking thing that we're using throughout this particular project. Now let's go ahead and go back out to the titles just here. I think I might just reorganize that. I'll have the titles just at the front there. So I then brought that composition in. We've got something missing here as well, which we're going to rectify in just a moment. So we've got the background scrolling, the clock going around. Okay, and then this kicking in like so. And that starts the bit of the actual cast, which of course begins with your good self. And there's a bit of a background there for you, but I'm going to be adding something else to that. I'm also using colors that are a bit more Adobe Live rather than the ones from the thing that we're emulating. So what is, of course, missing here is the walk cycle that we created in Animate. And by the way, if you missed any of this stuff, people, creating the walk cycle and those things, just go and watch the other streams on demand. There you go. You can see all of that good stuff yourself. I'm going to double click on the walk cycle here. Now, when I brought this in as a GIF, it only has, even though the GIF would repeat if it was employed as a GIF, okay, here it's just coming in as the original frames. So I need to do some work there to get that working properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on here and go to time and choose to enable time remapping. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the stopwatch here. I'm going to hold down Alt or Option and click on that so that I can put in an expression for this. And I'm just going to type L, which gives me last. If I go O, then I've got local. If I do O again, I've got look at and do P, then I've got loop, which is what I'm after. And I'm after loop out.
I'd like to buy a
this
vowel.
Third one. Sorry?
I'd like to buy a vowel now.
You'd like to buy a vowel? We're playing Countdown.
Wait, what? No.
I'll have an L, please, Carol. Carol.
Carol?
Oh, yeah, honestly. I'm old school, so I still tend to terminate these things with a semicolon, even though After Effects these days kind of forgives you for that. So there's my expressions in for that. I can then drag out this timeline like so. Okay, and apologize for the creakiness of my voice. I'm the cold. This is the worst cold I've ever had, Tim. I can say that hands down.
Well,
so there you are. The walk cycle is complete.
At least you can save your voice for this week. Like, it's not like you have 6 streams.
Yeah, I know. And I'm halfway through once I've done this one. I'll just, back in again at 7 o'clock.
By the way, you're getting compliments in the chat. Angus says, very nice. Sandrine says, neat. Raquel Costa says, nice. Sandrine says,
I can't afford no cannon. Excellent. So that's working out all right there. Good stuff. The other thing I've done here as well with this, there is in the Archer titles, the characters themselves have a reduced opacity, okay, and they're blended differently. So if I just go here to the opacity, so tap T for transparency to get the opacity controls, you can see I've got this set to 90%. Okay, and the blend mode is at multiply, just there because they're black, so darker colors will press down, and that brings out some of the pattern in the background. It just adds very simply some texture to the piece. So if I go back to the titles now and scroll forward to that time, we should see the walk cycle.
I think that's a bit hard to see on stream, perhaps due to the compression. Could you just increase it by a bit more so we can see more of the pattern?
Yeah. In fact, what I'll do is
hold on. It's just a black blob.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Right. Okay.
Oh, that's better.
So hopefully we can see that. If I just press the space bar, you can see it running pretty much in real time. There you go. And you might just be able to see that through there. I mean, it is subtle. What I could do, I can make it less. I can always make it less subtle, Tim. So if I go here and I'll make the blend 80%. Just there we go. How's that?
That's much better. Yeah, now we can see it.
Yeah. Okay. So there we are. Now you can see it, and it's got that texture behind it, so it just adds something to it, just a bit of richness. So it's no longer just a silhouette, and also because there's a lot of black areas inside these titles, it means that you've got something to differentiate against. I did say I'd show you the pattern, so I'm just going to save that quickly. Because it's all about the saving. The last thing I really would like today is for it to just like vanish. And if I go to the background pattern here, okay. So once I've drawn all the elements, they're over here on the side. Okay, I then went about making these cubes. Now this is really, really big, so I can zoom in quite a long way here. And all of the transparency that I had with the overdrawn lines, unfortunately, that vanishes quite a bit of that in the transition to a pattern. And After Effects, funnily enough, did not like the pattern when I bought it in from Illustrator. So what I had to do was actually export that layer as a Photoshop file and bring it in so it was all rasterized already. I tried rasterization inside of Illustrator and it had none of it. It just kept showing bits as being less solid than other bits, which was kind of interesting, really. Anyway, right, so there you are. That's where we are right now with all of that stuff. We've got all of the good hosty things in here. So we're going to carry on from here, from this point in. So the bit we'd got to was you, Tim. It was you. Yeah, so in our titles, if I go back to the titles here, also I can close the render queue. I don't need that. There we are. So we get to this point here, then this first layer, and this is pretty much how all the transitions are. That's why I'm doing it in one timeline. It's one continuous thing. So the pen, the negative space in the pen is going to become the dot. So you can see that in the pen itself just there. If we move upwards, once the clock face shrinks down, we've also got to get all those numbers to drop away. Yeah, then we've got that from there. Now, I'm actually acknowledging the boundary of the screen. So when the dot gets to the top here, it's going to bounce off. And who's underneath it to receive it? But amazing Tim. And then it will go on and it gets bounced off another thing and another thing. So originally I thought about doing a big circle over your face and then having two dots for eyes appear and then blink. So you've got your umlaut. I did try it. I tried drawing it because that's the best way to do it before you try animating it. It didn't work. It was a good idea. It's one of those things that was a good idea, but didn't work. And also I didn't want to mess with your name. I wanted your name to be clear in there. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of work here on your composition.
It will hit me in the back of the head. Like Reverb Mike said. Will the dot hit Tim in the head? Or Tim Pong, as Sandrine says.
Unfortunate. Anyway, moving on. Right, so, and of course I put your nice piano keyboard in the back, and I've got something else I want to add in for a little bit of texture as well. In fact, just so I don't forget that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another solid layer here. So if I just open these, I've got a bunch of solids already, some of which I just drop into comps so that I've got the content to work with at the same time. So with you, I will bring in that solid first of all. So I'm going to drop that just here. The color is not desperately relevant at the moment, but we will be using it. I'm then going to change your opacity to 90%, there like so, and blend mode multiply. So that's working good. Let's make sure that, by the way, that I'm kind of maximized in the screen so you can see it. Although thinking about it, I do need to be zoomed out just a tiny bit, just for the minute, because I'm going to turn you into a puppet, Tim.
I knew it.
I know, man. I'm just dropping some pins in here. Okay, some puppet pins. I'm not doing any particular puppet wizardry here, right? It's all going to be pretty straightforward stuff.
And I'm very happy this isn't a voodoo doll, just so you know.
Yeah, oh man, have you got a headache? Okay, so you can see the pins that are added here if I go ahead. And those keyframes from where the pins have been added are too far on in the timeline. So now we can go ahead and start working. So this is the pin that I'm going to be manipulating, which is pin 4. And I'm going to just push this over to the side just a little bit. I've got all of the pins active, so let's just make that one active. There we go. Can zoom in now as well. So just a little bit of a tilt to the side. Then I'm going to move on a few frames from there. Okay, I think we're going to have it so you're rocking out somewhat. That's what I think. Let's play that in real time. Yeah, that's pretty good. That to me looks like you might be doing it. In fact, I think I'll go in 20 frame intervals just here because, you know, stuff.
Good reason.
And good reason. It's as good a reason as any. And so I could have copied these frames, by the way, and just moved them on, but I don't know. Somehow doing it this way, I know there's going to be a little bit of variation in all of these. So that's kind of good, I think. We'll just go right up to the end of the comp timeline. And I think that'll be good. So let's just play that. There you go. That's you kind of rocking out as you do, Tim. As you do, wobbly head. Demonstrating the fact that you are, into the music. Very good. Right, so
yeah, that's how I listen to music. Just
also, so I want to reveal now what I want to do with this comp, the one that I've added on here for a little bit of extra texture. And what I thought would be nice, in addition to your piano keys, because it's you, I think we should have an audio waveform running there. So I'm going to go to my effects here. I'm going to use a generator. Okay, so I'm going to generate an audio waveform just there. Spectrum won't really work, particularly for this one. I'm also doing a quick save just as an update. Spectrum will kind of destroy the sort of lo-fi-ness of it. Now I'm going to move the waveform so that it is clearly off of the sides of the comp completely. Okay, and then, or momentarily, I will need to go to my effect controls. But first of all, I need a bit of sound for it to go with.
Oh.
Funnily enough, as that penny just dropped all of a sudden.
Like, why would he? Oh,
now,
okay.
Given that I know that we've got a couple of audio things here, I'm going to set this to -22 and just give me the nod straight away if this is a bit loud. Okay, so we've got a bit of sound here from an earlier version of a song that we're working on currently. Okay. That's all we need. Something like that's enough. That's we don't need to add in more of a spoiler than that. I mean, I could wind it on a bit, I guess, and then we could try.
The name of the file is sort of a clue.
See, that's going to work really, really well. However, I can mute it because we don't need it in there. But so, which I'm sure you're pleased about. I may need to move the audio on a little bit, though, just to see what sort of waveform we get. Because this effect, if I go to the effect controls now for the audio waveform, you've got to give it something to work with. Yeah, so it says, well, where's my audio coming from? So I can do She Loves Cycling Faster Bridge. And you can see immediately we're getting a bit of a waveform in there. The start point and end point are fine. I've already moved those. The maximum height, I'm going to increase that. So along here, I'm also going to change the thickness of the line. Okay, and then the color. And I think what I'll do here is I will pick from the small keys on the keyboard. Let's have a look how that looks. Oh, and we've still got the glow on the outside. So let's do the same for the outside color. So we're going to sort of embrace the monochromaticity.
Very nice. Yeah.
I didn't even pronounce that properly, but you knew what I meant. The monochromaticity, that's it. There you go. See, I think that works. I think it's nice. I think it's a nice... It gives a clue about what you're about, And
it just goes straight to my ears.
And it doesn't... Well, I've got to be honest, that's a happy accident, Tim. That is a happy accident. And but it does the job. Yeah, it's showing, you're the audio king. Well, and other kings of other things, of course. But so let's have a look at that now. So what happens is, right, the first card, right, as the pen goes up, that starts the transition for the first card to move up and out of the way. So all that's doing is scaling and moving upwards, which is pretty much how it works in the Archer titles. Because I didn't segment this at all, because I've done it as an entire card, kind of stuck a little bit with when this reaches that point. So now what I've got to do is move the dot. So I'm going to animate the dot into position. Okay, so that's going to go at this point. It's going to go just about here. Okay, so let's just make sure that's working. Okay, so that will boink, it hits there, comes down, doof, strikes your head there. Now that needs to bend rather. So I'm going to add another keyframe at this point. Let's just zoom in a bit so it's easier to see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. And I think what I'm going to do is just move this out a tad. Can you see the bend that's appearing there now? So that motion path, which I could, of course, control by the handles as well. Yeah, just to change that. But I don't want to do too much to interrupt the timing of it. So let's have a look. That will get to the top, boink, and it bounces off, donk, and comes into contact with your head at that point. Okay, and then I want it to go off somewhere else. So I am going to try and work this out in real time by actually playing it. Boink, 2, 3, 4. There is where I want it to be. Strangely, at the end of this time span. Who knew? So that will go off over here. So it's going up a bit and across. Just checking that is it is the right direction. I can make it the right direction anyway, so that's fine. And so that now disappears off of the stage. I'm working with so many different things. In Animate, it's the stage. Here it's the comp. Oh.
In Photoshop, it's the canvas. And also
Photoshop is the canvas. Illustrator is the artboard.
Oliver's asking, is that song about Emma? I don't think we can reveal that at the moment. And Sean is saying noise, as in nice. And
noise.
Nice.
I don't say noise. Do I?
I think Sean just said that.
All right, okay. I'm just checking this out. Boing. There we go. That's good. I'm not worried about the transition time and everything on it. In fact, I've just had an idea. This is working. This is true editing on the fly. Just here, I am going to pull that back a bit because I've got a good idea for how this is going to work. I like having the good ideas. Perfect.
Last minute good ideas.
Yeah, I like. Well, in all honesty, right? If I'm working on a major project, everything is nailed down to that. It's just like this is going to happen at this time. This is going to happen at this time, and decisions around should we change this, not taken lightly particularly. But I think when we're working on projects, we are quite happy when something just pops into your head and you think, oh, I wonder what would happen if I did that thing. And then it goes in a slightly different direction. It's the nature of creativity.
Shoehorn masterclass.
Shoehorn masterclass. Absolutely. Right. So what's going to happen now is the position. So we've got a careful bit of repositioning to do here because that's going to strike your head at that point and start to move away. Now, as soon as that's moved away just a few frames, I'm going to go back and change the position now of your entire comp. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add a keyframe at this point. So there's no state change between where it was a moment ago. You can see the previous keyframe just there. Okay, so this one scales up and is in that position. Okay, so now it's no state change there at all. I'm going to wind that across to about this point here. And in fact, exactly to this point here. To the very last frame of this clip. And then I'm going to move this across. So it's going to move in the X axis like so. Doink-a-doo. Oh, we haven't put your name in yet. We'll do that in a second. So that's off from there. Brilliant. Let's just try that out. So, doink. Oh, like a dream. Like a dream. Okay. We need to work on a new comp now. So I've got placeholder comps here for everybody. So all the hosts, anyway, there isn't a placeholder comp at the moment for Emma and Rufus. They're just coming in at the end with the main title. Okay, so we're going to work on comp 03, Mads, here, and we're going to bring in Mads's silhouette. So if I go to my hosts folder, host layers just here, and go down to Maddie, bring Maddie in to the comp like so.
I've noticed there wasn't a 007 layer group.
No, there's no double. We don't know who 007 is yet.
I see.
60 years of Bond. Come on, that's a powerful franchise.
Sean says 00 Tim.
00 Tim. Well, I mean, truly, well, I should have started my index at 0, so we shouldn't have even got to 6. Right, Mads is going to be just there. Mads isn't going to be doing anything. Her silhouette is just going to be in place. Okay, we're not going to add anything else there into the background, apart from the background pattern. So we're going to drop that in. But first, we need another solid. So I'm going to insert another solid, Command Y, here to do that, Control Y. We'll call this one yellow, like so. And something like that. Nice, warm yellow. Good stuff. It's at the comp size, which is great. And we'll drop that down to this point here. Let's change the transparency on Maddie down to 90. And the blend mode, multiply, like so. Then with our yellow comp here, I can get rid of the purple one now. Actually, you don't need it. With the yellow comp here, I'm going to bring in the background. So I'll close up my host layers. Just make sure that's fitting on. I didn't think that was quite fitting on the screen properly. Mnemonic pattern. There it is. Bring that in. Drop that down there. And we'll also animate the mnemonic pattern as it goes across. So to do position, I'm going to zoom out a bit there and get that to around about that point there. Okay, and set a keyframe for that. And then just move that all the way to the other end.
No expressions. I'm shocked.
No, let's not be over clever.
Fine.
It's going to move a short distance over a longer period of time, which means it will be a nice slow drift. Right. In fact, if we scrub that forward, that's perhaps a bit too slow.
Sandrine says, I think Maddie should have some mascara streaks dripping down her eyes as a design element.
Oh, she will do if she's watching. Yeah, if she's watching, I dare say there will be mascara going on very shortly. Okay, that bit's working for the minute. That is all we need at that particular point. Just there. Super groovy. Now, something else we could do. Actually, have I got a black solid in there? No, I'll add in a black solid. So I'm just going to get a black solid just down like that, like so. Okay, I am going to add one of those down at the bottom. And what else we could do here? I guess we could mask out parts of it. So I'm going to drop that black solid in just in case. Let's go to the titles. And now we can add in, we can collapse some of these so we're not showing too much stuff at the same time. We can bring in 03 Mads. We can drop that in just beneath your comp.
And I'm already seeing some aquatic emojis in the chat posted by Sean.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's very perceptive of you, Sean. Amazing how perceptive you may be with that. Right, okay, so I need to just get this at this particular point. I'm just going to start the animation work from there. Okay, and change the position of, if I just drop in this keyframe at this particular point, I'm going to wind it back to the beginning here and then take that off. There we go. And I can fix that in a second. That's the
Oh dear. The chat is going wild.
yeah.
Sean is posting bikini emojis, and Nosh is asking if that's Sean's summer outfit. So, yeah.
Let's keep it real, though, people. Yeah, just saying.
Yeah, let's keep it on topic. How about that?
Yes, let's do that. Okay, so there we are. We've got that. There's sort of a bilateral transition going on there. That's not where I need it to start, is it? So let's get rid of that keyframe and wind this one all the way back here. So let's go to that particular keyframe and wind this back. I'm going to turn your visibility off for a second. Let's go to the first frame of Mads's, and then I'll just drag that back like so. There we go. That's happy days. Good stuff. We can now turn yours on, and then all we need to do is basically wind to the second keyframe of yours, which we're at now, and then we can introduce Maddie's just there. Did I turn on? I did. So that's good. Excellent. So now we've got that. Those two things should move together. Yes. How's that looking so far?
Very nice. And how did you make sure that it's actually snapping in the very dead center of the comp and not just leaving like a 1 pixel black border on the right or left side?
Skills.
Thanks.
There's no smart guys. That's the thing. It's just a bit. I just eyeballed it, mate. If it's wrong, all I do is I go into it. If I ever see a black gap appearing in there, I don't think there actually is one. But if there was, then I just go and nut. Yeah, you see, there is slightly. Just there.
Perhaps
there we go.
Maybe one keyframe is out one frame. I think the lower one
It
is.
will be. That will be all it is. It will be something like the very beginning here. If I go back to that one and just dial that the exposition up one. Okay, so I've just gone 1 extra pixel there, and there you go. Oh no! In fact, it's made it worse.
The keyframe is slightly a frame too early. The lower one compared to the.
It is actually, Tim.
Yeah.
There we go.
Skills, Tony.
Skills, Tim.
Now we have 2 keyframes.
Yeah, so I'm going to hit the one at the beginning and delete it.
I mean, you're already zoomed out, to be fair. Like
yeah.
Timeline,
so let's go ahead. Yeah, I'll fix any of that in a minute. Okay, so the most important, fix it in post. Oh man, that is so annoying.
Oh dear.
That is really bugging me now.
I don't think so.
I'm going to go back to that previous keyframe on yours. Sorry, next one on. From there. No, they look to be at the same place to me. But I might have just...
I mean, it depends on how much pixels the scene moves. So if the distance is larger than the other one, then yeah, we will run into timing issues.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's fine. Anyway, for the minute. Yeah, no.
Welcome to the masterclass, where we will spend the next 20 minutes arranging,
nudging,
aligning, pixel pushing. Just good old designer syndrome. Move 2 pixels to the right, 1 pixel to the left, and 1 more pixel to the left.
Anyway, it's fine. It's all good. Right, so the main thing at the moment is the journey of this ball. And also we've got another actor to bring in at this point. Now, I might bring this actor in directly to this timeline. So if I go into my host folder, just here, I should have a layer called Dolphin.
Hey! Yay.
At this point, Mads has started crying in a good way. Okay, so yeah, good enough. Good enough. That's Sean is actually saying good enough. There was something about that yesterday. You're quite right. So I've got to work out now just where this point is, where the interval point is for this. So there, around about there. Okay, so I'm going to bring the dolphin up, and then I'm going to rotate the dolphin around. I'm going to keyframe this as well. So what I'm going to do is drop in a bunch of keyframes here. So if I change the rotation value like that, and also change the position. There we go. Now I need to just back off from that a little bit. There we are. That'll work. Good. Okay. I was going to move on just onto and rotate that in to that point there. So let's have a quick look. That should be pretty good. Doink. And now we just need to change the position of the dolphin as well. Okay, so going back to this keyframe here. Okay, we're now going to tap P for position. Make sure it's keyframed just there. So that's in exactly the right place at more or less exactly the right time. I'm just tapping U twice just to go to the keyframes here. Actually, it needs to be that point there. So I'm just going to delete that and now keyframe it from there. Now just back off a little way. So good. Right. Okay, so let's try that out. Yeah, that sort of works. Just need to change the rotation so that it rotates into that place and then just does that. So we'll just rotate that backwards just a little bit. Actually, we'll go that way. That last motion is so quick, but it's going to have to be what it is, unfortunately, from there. And take the dolphin back down. And also back down in space as well. There we go. Something like that. Okay, let's try that out. There we go. So, doink, poof. The illusion will be completed by the ball actually moving.
Right. Yeah, I was about to say the ball is surprisingly unfazed by the...
Yeah, it's not bothered. The ball's not fussed at all just at the minute, but that's fine. Okay, so now we need a state change because it's been hit, and what it's going to do is it's going to bounce onwards because who's up next? Oh, it's Joe. Yep. Okay, so we're going to get that to bounce across again. So once more, I'm just going to move to a particular point in time here because I can adjust it later on. And then just take this over some way like so. There we go. So let's just have a look at that. Doinky doink. Doof. I do wonder if, I know I've got the dolphin back flipping out of there, but I might adjust that slightly momentarily. All right, but that's working. Otherwise, we'll play it in real time.
And I mean, you're moving at an incredible pace, and I've just noticed an influx of viewers. So if you're watching this on YouTube, come on over to behance.net/Adobe Live. I will put the link on stream. Join us there, say hi, enjoy the neighbors who are apparently renovating since early this morning.
In your place, are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Always when we try to stream. So it's just...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right, so there's going to be some speed issues there that I'm going to need to fix. But the great thing is, or the very brilliant thing is that if I get these things roughly into place, all I need to do is to be able to move these keyframes. And of course, the distance with those will change the speed. So at the moment in real time, okay, as this comes off of your head, it slows down and then appears to speed up because of the motion of the cards in between. So that's part of the problem there, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick save there. Let's go and work on our next card, which is Joe. We're going to animate a few different things in here. So we need 3 different layers in. We need Joe himself. We also need Joe's arm with the camera and Joe's lower arm, which is not there. Let's just, Joe upper arm, Joe arm with the camera, and Joe. Super good. Right, let's drop those in like so, and then we can put those where we need them. So we'll start off with Joe himself, just there. Okay. And then we've got the upper arm, which is going to go sort of where upper arms go. Generally in that sort of region there, I think is always a plus. And if they're connected to the actual body as well, that's a good plus too. And then we'll put the lower arm in like so. So what's going to happen here is the ball's going to fly in and momentarily become the lens of the camera, and it will carry on traveling with the camera. Okay, at that point, and then it'll move away from that too. So what we need to do now is stitch together that animation. So we won't have the animation work straight away. We'll just have, and we need to set up actually the rotation of the arm with the camera. I'm also going to put these in order. There we go. So the arm with the camera just there, like so. Okay, on top, because that's where it would be anyway. And I'm going to use the pan behind tool here to change the transformation point of that down to towards the sort of elbow region around about there. That's basically where this is going to transform from. Okay, actually, that needs to be a little bit higher because this is too high at the moment. I've just realized. I'll get my selection tool and bring that down a bit. Are they enjoying this, Tim, by the way?
They're saying so good, and I see a lot of laughing, crying emojis. So
we like laughing.
Yeah.
Laughing is good. Laughing is a good thing. Okay, so I'm just going to rotate this away just a little bit, just for the moment. So there we go.
Stuart says, "I am enjoying this." He says, "Just I am."
Thank you, Stuart. Groovy. Okay, the upper arm. I'm also going to need to do the pan behind on that to make that transform from about this point here. Obviously, you can see how super anatomically correct this is. And I'm going to rotate that around as well. Okay. Now, if I bring that up like so, that's going to work. So perfect. Right. Good stuff. I'm going to make sure that rotation is on for both of those things. Keyframing for the rotation. Then we're going to wind forward a little bit. So this is going to be around about 1.5 seconds in when this animation pops up. Okay, so what's happening is Joe is going to see his name coming onto the screen. Oh, we'll also drop in that pattern background as well. Let's do that while we're here. Joe's going to see his name coming in, and he's going to want to photograph it. So he's going to bring the camera up, and there you go. See, there's a story to all of the whole thing.
So clever, Tony.
No, I'm not. But well, all right, yeah, I am.
Stop it, but continue.
Please, more. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing okay.
Now they are coming in, and Linda says, "Yeah, me too," and Oliver says, "Yeah, enjoying this here too." Nice.
Good. I am glad. I am the glad. Right, okay, I'm just going to do, again, I'm going to animate the position of the background. I'm going to zoom out slightly just here. I'm going to drop that. The chances of me dropping it in exactly the same place as before would be great if I wanted to go in and check the numbers of the position of the asset on, because that would be possible. Alternately, I could have the whole thing just running along and just mask it in and out as needed, but I'm doing it this way around because it's fun. And I'll go right to the end here and then just move that by a similar amount. Let's just play that forward. Yeah, that's all right. Quite a bit of vibration in that, but we can see how that resolves. It may be that I have to blur that slightly. Can you see that? It's just a tiny bit of vibration.
Like in the background, or?
Yeah, the pattern. I can just see vibration occurring in
Isn't that
places. It's
like
only optical.
some
It's not
sort
really
of
vibrating.
isn't there like some sort of anti-flicker filter? In Premiere there was one.
I
So
think there is something actually, but I mean, I'm not going to worry about it too much just for the
yeah.
minute anyway.
I mean, you're looking at
The,
this at 50%. This could also be the part of the issue. Why
Yeah,
this appears to be flickering.
could be. I'm just going to slow it down. Yeah, I've slowed it down a little bit, and it's that's working just fine. I'm going to drop the names in towards the end. So
Yeah.
let's go up to that sort of 1.5 second point there, something like that, and then we'll start animating. And we'll animate with the top arm first. So we're going to go for the upper arm, and we're going to put in a bit of rotation. So that bit just rotates upwards just a shade, like so. Okay, now the forearm just there, that's also going to have position. And I'll just tap U twice there so I can see both of those things together. So as the upper arm has gone up, so will the forearm. And then, oops a daisy, I need to just drop in the, it's fine dropping a keyframe in there, but I need to actually drop it in the right place. So let's just go back to that, because here at the moment, the forearm is coming up too quickly. So we'll bring that just in like so. So let's have a quick look at that's good. Okay. Now I can go ahead and reposition this arm into the right places. Like so, making sure I'm on that keyframe.
And I'm actually thinking about rigging and how you could perhaps parent one arm to
I
the
could
other.
have done that actually. I could have rigged the thing. I just went for safety's sake for these things as they are.
So there you
right,
go,
rotation. Sorry, say again.
No, Sean asked the same question just as I was thinking it.
Yeah, no, I could. I could. By the way, you can do that in Animate as well, you know.
Yeah.
Do layer parenting. So I'm going to rotate this around now into place like so. So the rotation is good. Just there. I'm not mad for the position, however, so I'm going to make some adjustments to that, starting with the upper arm. I'm going to increase the rotation there a little bit.
And Mike is asking for nose. Yeah.
Yeah, could have done that as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of
I
things.
didn't draw enough elbow.
Ding,
I know.
ding, ding.
I know. Let's just see if that's going to work all right. But yeah, do you know what? For this, I need to draw some more elbow there. I thought I did actually, but the great news is, of course, if I want to, I can just go out and just change that. However, do you know what? I think that's going to work anyway.
I think it's fine for now. We can always polish it later. I'd rather see more than you drawing an elbow.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I'm just going to go back in the rotation keyframe just here and just bring that in just a bit more. Actually, this might resolve itself, Tim, just here. Let's have a quick look now.
I mean, it does look a bit flat, but I think
it does look a bit flat. Yeah. But anyway, moving on. Right. It was me being lazy with the upper arm. That's what it was. I went like that. And just thought, I'll fix that later.
I have to deduct 10 quid from your invoice at the end for not completing the elbow. That's okay.
That's a whole minute. Anyway, moving on. I'm aware that we've got just half an hour left. I'm just going to quick save because I haven't done one for a little while. Let's go ahead and go back to the title sequence. We'll bring in... I'm just going to collapse. What's up?
Joe has cable ties keeping his sleeves tight. Thanks, Sean. He's even cable managing his sleeves. Yes.
Wow. Wowzers. There we go. So let's bring Joe in. Now we've got this transition thing going on again. So just from here, that's good. So at that point here, the dolphin's done its job. Doink. Like so. And then Maddie will start to transition back the other way. So we're going to just go ahead at this point here and add a position keyframe. We've kind of got one really, just there anyway. I'm going to do a hold one just there as well. Not an actual hold one, but you know. And then just wind this back. So we're going back the other way with that. I should know the numbers for this, you know. I really should. It should not be this difficult. I should just be able to put in minus 960 and it'll be in pretty much the right place.
There you go.
Like that.
You're right.
Yeah, I know. I can do the same with Joe now. What I can do is I can set that position keyframe just there in the right place, and then I can just add 960 onto this one. Actually, I'd need to add 1920 onto this one as well, wouldn't I? So, yes. I'm just going to wind it out.
Can you just say plus 1080?
I don't know if it does that. Does After Effects? I can't remember if After Effects. And also,
one way to
I'm not in the right place in the yeah. That will be in the right place. Then if I go back to Maddie's position keyframe just here, the last one she's got. There we go. Let's give it a go, Tim. So I'd need to add plus 1920 onto the. There you go.
Easy.
It does. I'm sure on a normal day when my head wasn't as thick as it is right now, it would.
Boom. Very nice. Wait, why is it going back to me?
It's because I was just winding the top of the playhead.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, huh? What's going on?
Backwards. No. I've not moved the ball in the right direction. So we'll just go to that point there. Okay, let's rectify this then. So we'll go to the next keyframe for our ball. We'll go to the previous keyframe for our ball. That's where your head strikes it, just there. Okay, so this will be where we do have to do some tinkering around just there. Now, strangely enough, what is occurring there? The dolphin's coming up. At that point there, the ball should be on the dolphin's nose.
I mean, you're already moving the scene, so...
I am moving this. It's complicated because I'm moving the scene at the same time.
Yeah, but when you animated the first movement, the scene wasn't moving, so that's why the ball is now at a different position.
Yeah, true. So now we're in the right place. But like I said, this is where we get to fix things anyway. So where this is now is not where it's going to be currently. So we can now move this across. I'm just making absolutely sure that I'm on that keyframe just by using the arrows here to do that, because it really does need to be in the right place. Let's get a view of the whole thing. And now we'll bring this back down to around about this point here. Excellent.
And Jane is just asking about parenting and why that would be beneficial. Well, the reason would be if you move the lower arm, the upper arm should move with it. Like if you move that one.
Yeah.
So you could save some time if you move this one. And this one will already move with it. But yeah, that's fine.
We're good. There we go. All right. Doink. That's not a very satisfactory bounce off of that. I think I need to do some fixing there with the handles. So if I go to that particular point.
Yeah, because it wasn't expecting the lower layer to move.
Yeah. No, that's all good. I'm just going to introduce another frame here just so I can access, I think, that keyframe type. Let's just have a quick look at that. Where am I? Linear. I want Bezier. That'll be why. There we go. So now I can do that, and that should work slightly better. Doink. Boff. Yeah, I can make that work. I can make that work.
The
All right,
animator
good.
sound effects. Push. Boop. Pew.
Parents don't just understand. Just don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway. So, where are we? We are in the title sequence. We've just done that, and now we need this to follow up. But you see, the thing is, if I'd have to split this, if I wanted to actually parent this across, I'd have to split the two. So from here, I'm going to have to follow that into place now. So if we just pull that along, and additionally, that will need. Yeah, there's an offset going on here. Can you see the reference point is offset away from the object? So I need to fix that.
Yeah, I was asking you. I wanted to ask you why the anchor point is not on the.
Because I accidentally moved it.
I see.
That'll be why. That's the only reason why I accidentally moved it earlier.
I mean, isn't there like an option in After Effects where you can say move anchor point to center of object? Like
Yeah, you can.
Layer
You can, but I'm just worried now that it will interrupt all of the other stuff.
Would it? If it's just
well, I don't know that it would, to be honest, but I'm just worried that it might.
Keyboard shortcut, Command Shift Home, or like don't try that out right now. I don't remember.
I'm on a short keyboard. No home. No home. The other thing I need to do here, Tim, is I need to rectify that bounce. There we go. That should be better. In fact, if I bounce that right the way up.
I will launch After Effects on my machine and I will try it out right now while you continue.
You may do that.
Because we are a team. I mean, I'm a
we
Tim, but we're a
team. There we go. That is working much better. Yeah, I can fix that in a bit. I could go ahead now and use the reference and just use the pan behind tool to move the reference point. But to be honest, I'd rather get through.
Just continue. I will let you know if my idea works.
Sure. Okay, so now the other thing we've got here, right, is this Joe hasn't had the transparency effect applied to him. Joe at the moment is completely opaque. So it doesn't match the feeling that you have with the other hosts. So if I just go back into the titles, when we're working with yourself and when we're working with Maddie, we should be able to see slightly through Mads just there with the background, although she's moving against it anyway. If I just go into the Mads timeline here and do that, she should be at 90% multiply. Oh, we changed it, didn't I? I was going to make it 80 so that you could see it more clearly. There you go, 80% multiply. Yeah, so you can see that through. That should be the same with you. Let's just double check. If you are, yeah, you're at multiply anyway. Oh, I did that one at 90 as well. It's because we changed the formula so it was easier to see. But Joe isn't at all. Joe is solid. Now, here's the problem. If I change Joe, okay, to be 90% multiply, I would have to change the upper arm and the forearm to match that. So that's not going to be a great experience because they will work against each other and you'll end up with darker spots. So the answer is to pre-compose them, which is like changing them into almost a kind of smart object. So I've selected those three items and I'm going to right click here, okay, and choose the pre-compose command. I'm just going to call that Joe PC for pre-comp. Just there. So now I have that, which means I can now change the blending mode of that pre-comp to 80%, okay, and the blend mode of multiply. And so now we have the illusion is preserved because it's treated as if it's one object. Okay, I'll also add to my list of things to do here is to redraw that elbow before I pop this up on Discord. Just there, redraw elbow because it's bugging me.
And unfortunately, my idea with the center anchor point didn't work. It would create a
Didn't
new
work.
keyframe, and yeah, that would.
I can fix it. It's for the moment. I mean, this is a draft anyway, so for the moment, we're all good. Remember that the finished items of these take significantly longer than 90 minutes
Really?
to pull together. Yeah, it's a shocker, right? It's a real thing. Every time I do one of these, my fee goes down. People go, "Well, you did that in 90 minutes on there." I think, right, okay. I'm just kidding, by the way. My fee doesn't go down ever. Right, so next one is Natalie. So we're going to go ahead and get from the host layers. We're going to get in Natalie. Lovely, lovely Natalie. Okay, so there we are. And just bring the solid down behind. And oops, daisy. There we are. I haven't got the right thing targeted. And we'll go ahead and get the background. What I haven't managed to figure out, though, I meant to ask this at the beginning. What's Natalie's thing going to be with the transition? How's Natalie's?
Cats.
How's she going to bounce? Oh, yeah, cats.
Chasing like the ball. Like, wow.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm going to be honest. There's going to be some extra work required for me to do that. If I get time, we will draw in, okay, another cat. We'll draw a cat, and I'll get it so it just pops the ball across from there. Very good. It can land on the bottom left-hand corner and pat the ball the other way. No, the other way. It can land in the bottom right-hand corner and then pat the ball over to the left or up or whatever. I'll work it out. Okay, so I'm going to have to draw and animate that separately. Or a shoulder nudge. You see, a shoulder nudge would work. There you go. That would work. Right, let's go and just change the position of this. I could have made this easier by actually creating a pre-comp of this, but I wanted to change the background color in each instance. So I think this should be, let's go for a very, very hot pink there. Get rid of the purple solid. It's done its job. Go to the end and then just move this onwards a bit. No, that'll be going backwards if I do it that way. Or will it? I don't know.
I mean, nobody says it has to go just in the horizontal direction. It could go
up and down. I mean, this comp is actually going to be coming down onto this one anyway.
Yep.
So we're going to have left to the right, to the up, to the down, and all that thing.
That's our next song.
That's our next song. Left to the right, to the up, to the down. I wish I had hair like Rufus. I'm so looking forward to the single cover stream. So good. Right. Okay, we're going to have to come back to Natalie's title from there. Very good. I meant to ask that at the beginning. That would have been... you would think that I've got cats in my libraries. Probably have. But anyway, right. Let's move that on. So what we're going to do now is with Joe's position property here for his pre-comp, we're going to drop in a keyframe there to lock that in. I'm going to turn off the ball layer for a minute, or the dot layer, because I think I'm going to drop all those in at the end here, given that I'm doing something different with Natalie's. And I'm going to move on a bit like so. Actually, Joe needs a bit more time on. There we go. Something like that. And then Joe's Y position is going to go, this one's down, so plus 1080 on there. Doof, down we go. Okay, so doof, there we are. That's super happy. Good. Now we can bring in Natalie's pre-comp, or Natalie's comp rather, not pre-comp. Drop that in place. Bring it to bear on here. There we go. Something like that. How could I have forgotten cats, Tim?
I don't know. But we mustn't forget the names too. For the
Yeah, oh yeah, names are going on as well. That's all right. They're all there. They are all in their layers in the host file.
And sound effects.
And sound effects. Right, so I'm going to use Joe's position layer here. We could always drop that in. Epic. Right, so at this particular point in time, it's going to be 960 minus 1080. Moving that up into place like so. So let's go ahead and, ooh, I did it in the x-axis, didn't I? Stupid Tony. It's the y-axis that I want to do it on. There we are. Minus 1080. Getting my axes crossed over. Nice. And then we'll go to about that point there. We'll add in another position keyframe there. That's perhaps too drifty, but I'm going to do 540 plus 1080. So that one goes down.
Sean says, kind of cool though, with different axes. But I think if we wanted to do that, then we would have to animate it a bit more complex.
We would, yeah. Also, I do have a board thing that I'm working to just here, but and I'm just worried about deviating from it.
Yeah.
Too much. So I don't think it's.
Could you make the logo bigger?
One of my favorite phrases, that one.
Just
there we are. So who's next? It's me. Let's bring this down into place. We haven't worked on it yet, so we can go ahead and double click on that in the timeline. And we'll bring in from the host folder my silhouette. Tony, there we go. In you come. On top of that, super good. Yes.
Now I wonder what your sound effect could be. Well, I kind of know.
Yeah, there you go. Tim.
That's my name.
You've just given me an idea.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You've given me a really good idea. You have. Where have you gone? You're back there.
No, I'm all right. I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, thinking about it, we could. Just going to change that. That orange is too hot.
Well, at least it isn't frustrating.
Oranges are frustrating. You can never getting that balance because it's an in-between secondary. I was going to make it lighter. Change my mind. So I may add. Right. In addition to the cats, then I think I'm going to add in a flugelhorn because that's a great place for that dot to land.
Yeah. Just shoot it out of the horn, like.
So good. Oh man, my throat's holding up really well. Let's hope it's still holding up really well at 7 p.m. this evening.
Minutes. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going home for a bit of a sleep anyway, so we'll be good. Okay, let's bring this in to where it needs to be, which is just here. Let's use Natalie's position layers there to get to where I need to be on that. So let's make my position properties available. Let's go for position. Went down last time, so this one's going up. So at the moment it needs to be minus 1080. No, it doesn't. It needs to be plus 1080. Like so. And if I go to the next keyframe on Natalie's, okay, and we'll go minus 1080. just there. Let's just check those two things out. So that should be, oh man.
Nailed it. I mean, mixing it up. It's not.
Yeah, I know. No, but it's not my intention. Natalie's should go down, so mine should come. Mine is coming up.
Yeah, but from the wrong side. The first keyframe isn't right.
Oh yeah.
It should come down, unless Natalie's should go up. Either one has to change.
Yeah. So let's do. I'm just going to drop that back to 540, just there. So that should be smack bang in the middle. Now it needs to be minus 1080 on there. That's better. So that's now up from that point and down like so.
There we go.
Yes. Brilliant. Okay. So, and then we've got our producer's frame, which is not currently in there. So we'll go ahead and that's going to go above this layer anyway. So we can do that one from scratch. How are we doing on time? 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Oh, that's not bad.
Plus 10 minutes if we need to.
Yes, we might just about get away with getting the names in, which would be really good to get those in. And then we can have a playthrough from there. And then I can just go away and animate the dot part on there. Opacity on Nat and Tony, 80%. Thank you, Sean. See, Sean's with the program. Sean's there. Sean is telling us that we need to be multiply. See, keeping the style of the whole thing. Cheers, Sean. Appreciate that. And I can now do that on my own also. So let's just do D80 and multiply. Nice. And also, I'm going to just nick the background pattern from here and just paste it in. There we go. Could have saved myself a moment or two just doing that. There we go.
Looking at the intro, I just put it up on my end. The lines seem to be a bit more purple in the shadows. So perhaps at some point you could just change, I mean, not right now, but the color of the people instead of black to a dark purple.
Oh, yeah. And drop a layer style on top of them and add a color on and blend it down. I could do that. They do have a slightly different hue. But I just, in weighing up how many things I could do in the 90 minutes,
right.
I had to kind of think, how far do I go down that rabbit hole?
And now the Adobe Live UK channel has the Archer intro on the watch list on YouTube.
There we go. But thanks for that, Sean. Perfect. Very, very good. Appreciate it. Right, okay, so now we need our producers just here. So I'm going to create a new composition. Okay, producers. Just there. This is going to be straightforward black. So we need our black solid. So I'm going to drop the black solid in. Then we are going to add in Rufus and Emma. Okay, so Emma, it's alphabetical tone. It shouldn't be that difficult.
I before he accept after C? No, hang on.
Oh, dear. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to drop another solid in there just so I can see where everything's going for a minute. And Rufus. There we are. Rufus does need to be just ahead of Emma. There we are. Right. Let's get Emma into position just there. She's going to end up around about there. And Rufus will get everybody in the starting position around about there. That's good. And actually Emma can come in from side as well. Okay, good. Right, so for both of those, position keyframes for both. We can just go ahead and drop those on. Fantastic. And then we can start to move this in. So over nice and slow. That's what these need to be, a bit drifty. Now, Emma will end up there. But Rufus has also got to kind of pop in there like so. Actually, Emma's going to be too big. So Emma needs to be scaled. Sorry, Emma. Got to make you teeny tiny. Or tinier. There we go. So I'm currently channeling the new Avengers from the 1970s. Just here. You ever seen that, Tim? The Avengers? Not like the Marvel one, because I know you're very keen on like. I'm going to need to take Emma's Y position down a bit as well. I know you love checking out bits of British culture.
Yeah.
But the Avengers was a 60s TV series. Oh, I can't go any further forward because of that. You warned me about that elbow. Just there. Do you know what? I'm going to edit that very, very quickly. I'm going to hide all of the other layers. I'm going to unlock it. So I'm going to have to draw in a bit of content. So I'm going to get the blob brush. Da-da-da. Yeah, you'd really love that series. It's a whole like 60s cool thing. I'm just having to imagine this shoulder just here like that. In fact, as long as I've got something that's rounded, it'll be just fine.
I actually vaguely remember having to draw that shoulder as well, but for like photorealistic, because we did some Pinterest assets and that shoulder was missing too.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, Emma.
Oh, Emma.
Challenging us in just the right way.
There we go. Right, so that's good. I'm just going to save that when I get back to After Effects automatically.
Wow.
The beauty of linked assets. Now that should work pretty well. Yes. There we go. Those silhouettes, super good. Again, because I'm going to want these things to not multiply against each other, I'm going to pre-compose those as well. Okay, so I'll just call this producers. I'll just call it production. There we are, unwise, but I'll change that to multiply and 80%. Nice. And also we'll drop in that background, which I can just paste because I've got it there already. And we'll change, oh, this one's against black, isn't it? No, so I don't need the background. Let's undo that. We can now get rid of the magenta solid. Mind you. Ooh, Tim. I was going to go to black and make those two white, so I could try a layer style. So if I do layer style, color overlay, and then change the color overlay to Weiss. There we go, or close to. I mean, it's broadcast white, so it's not like super hot white. Let's see how that works out. Ta-da! There's our exception that proves the rule just there. So we've got those. Here we'll have the words produced by Rufus Deutschler, Emma Illustrate and Rufus Deutschler just in there. And then it will just drop out to Adobe Live on the next screen in the titles. So we can now drop our producers in from here. I don't think we're going to get the names in, Tim, to be honest. We're kind of against the clock for that one. And this one needs to go above mine because it's going to appear differently to the others. That's good. So this one's back in from the side. So let's get that to the point where it needs to be there. Position. Doof. So these two will drop away and then we'll have Adobe Live on the bottom.
Very nice.
Yes, I thought so. So we'll go to here and X position this time. So this is going to be 960 minus 1080. No, minus 1920. Oh man, I'll be so glad to see the back of this cold. I really will. I know I'm blaming it for everything, but that's because it is giving me grief.
And Oliver says, happy to you just to keep on working until the 7 p.m. stream. Yeah, we'll just
I'll
do
do
one
that.
big stream. Yeah, that's fine, right?
I'll do that. Yeah, live tonight, 7 till 9. Live tomorrow, 7 till 9. Live on Friday, 12 till 1:30.
And we'll just keep streaming until we reach that 7 p.m.
I'm just going to
tonight.
stream my life. I'm just going to stream my life. That'll be there. I couldn't think of anything worse. This is Tony in the garden having a bonfire. All right. There's the emus. So where am I with this one? So that was Tony. So the producers. Oh man, it's me that needs to change at this point. 960 plus 1080 plus 1920. If I'm correct, that should now buffer over like that.
Hey.
There we go. And of course, the illusion is added to by the fact that those two just move in as if
Super cool.
they were part of that same sequence. I think what we should do is drop at least a couple of names in. We should get your name in here at the very least.
Yeah, because I did all the work today. Mm-hmm. Well deserved.
You did tons of work. And I need Tim name. There we go. Named for what it is. As in Tim's name. Going to start there. Going to move on until your card is full screen. There we go. It's about there. Actually, you can go to there. That's kind of good. Oh no, the ball's going to travel to there. Stupid Tony. I've even drawn that. There you are. Tim Merbist. Say it again. I always get it wrong. I get all confused.
Right.
Never used to have a problem with umlauts.
Ooh, like the ooh.
Merbist.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I don't know why I've got a problem with umlauts now. There we go. Weird.
That's okay.
I'm going to shorten down this layer because it doesn't need to occupy any more space than that. I tend to do this, by the way, when I'm working with content like this. If I go to the end of this particular sequence here, what I tend to do is hit a layer, Shift Command D, which cuts it at that point, and then hit Delete, which means I've just got rid of that section there. Right, groovy.
Shortcuts for the win.
Keyboard shortcuts for the win. Okay, so right, the transition for your name is going to start about here. I think scale is going to work well for this one. And at that point there, oops, what happened there? S for scale, doing that. When you get to this point here, it needs to be full scale. Pretty much. There we go. And add a keyframe for that. What's the matter now? What have I done now?
Now they're very rude in the chat. They're talking
Are
about...
they?
Yeah. Sean, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm very happy to forward you Tony's phone number and you can ask him.
Actually, we should have umlauts and macrons in English, to be perfectly honest. One of my daughters is Chloe, who we've had singing on the stream before. There should definitely be, well, actually, there should be a macron there, not an umlaut, but
right.
There we go. That works pretty well. Boom, boom, boom. And then we can just move that on with you. So what we need to, we could parent at this particular point as well, but we're not going to. So I'm just going to add another position keyframe there as a hold, and then I'm going to go to point where you are off screen. About there. Okay. And
macron, isn't that like the straight line, like on Behance?
A straight line. Yeah, a straight line. Yeah, so you emphasize that word. In English, when you use an apostrophe, an umlaut in English, people use that in place of a macron. So they have pl-o-e.
I mean, it's not technically an umlaut, but never mind.
No, it's not an. It's not an umlaut thing.
Yeah, there's a word for that, for the two dots above a letter.
Yes.
Anyway.
Right, so I didn't enable a keyframe for position just there, so I'm just going to move that across.
And Megan says, are we watching Archer? I'm not sure, Megan, if you have joined us earlier, but if you just joined us now and asking if we're watching Archer, then I think we succeeded.
Well, we have, haven't we? If we're, yeah, that's working pretty well if we're doing that. Right, Tim, I think I'm going to give it a play out. Shall I drop in the audio?
Yes, please. I would.
So we can see how far we actually got.
Yeah.
With this. Hopefully everybody's enjoyed it. But here's how far we got with our version of Adobe Live in the style of Archer. Oh, do you know what? Before we do that,
make that louder.
Do you want me to make it louder?
Yeah, just a tiny bit, perhaps to -10 or so. So we're not blowing out everybody's eardrums.
Dialing in -10. -10 is now dialed in. I am going to hover over the preview screen here and hit the tilde key on my keyboard, and then I'll hit the spacebar.
Let's go.
Anyway, there we go. I've got some timing issues there to resolve.
I've noticed a distinct lack of ball action.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I said I'd turn that layer off.
Okay.
Just for the time being, because I'm going to fix that. This is the time span, the 30 seconds time span at the moment. I'm pretty much on the money with being 8 seconds short there. That's because Maddie's section is slightly too short. Yeah, so is Joe. Joe's is about right.
That's okay. We can fix it.
But those things, I will stretch those out. But mainly,
I can make
it's the techniques.
I can make the song shorter if we want to.
No. I want it to be 30 seconds. I want it to be proper.
Okay.
Yeah, because don't forget, I've got the end card to go in as well, and then everything drops away from the Adobe Live. So I've got the numbers there to do. I've still got some work to do. Yeah. However, so at this point here, the numbers will be falling away from the clock as well. Yeah.
But not for today, because this is all the time we have. So let's go back to here. And first of all, thank you very much for these amazing 3 days all on the Film Club creating title sequences with the one and only Tony Harmer. And
thank you, mate.
The chat is also saying, nice one, so very good, excellent, it's so good. No need to show the ball. It's a great way to push your techniques. That's it. Because if you enjoyed this, perhaps you can also have a look at your favorite film intros, movie intros, series, and see if you can create perhaps not the entire thing, but just part of that, and let us know if you do it. Maybe you are a streamer on Behance and you are looking for a project to work on, like your intro to After Effects, and your name starts with an S, and you can't pronounce München. Maybe that could be your first project in After Effects. Who knows? Right? But that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm just going to put the music back in. There we are. We will be back next week. And but for today, if you'd like to see more Tony Harmer, then join us at 7 p.m. or I guess 8 p.m.
8 in Central. Yeah.
On Behance here on Adobe Live, and he will be back with which project? What are you working on?
We're doing dynamic graphics in Illustrator. It's going to be fun. I've got to make spreadsheets fun.
Spreadsheets.
There is a spreadsheet. I've got to be honest. There is a spreadsheet in it, but it's not there very long.
You're trying to
I
Germans.
detest spreadsheets. Better than necessary evil.
Oh, you shouldn't say that in front of a German. We love spreadsheets.
Oh yeah, that's true. My apologies.
Right.
Right, I'm off
This
for a
is the
beard trim.
last
I'll see you later.
time seeing Tony here on Adobe Live after dissing my spreadsheets.
Don't
Thanks for
diss my
watching.
spreadsheets. Yes,
Don't forget,
take care, everyone.
Join us on
See you later.
Discord if you like to see the final result. That is Discord.
Yes.
Any last words?
No, just thanks for joining, everyone. I hope you've been back with Film Club later on in the year.
All right. Well,
Yes.
see you then, and bye-bye.